There's a cat in the video. Hi. This is what she does to me all the time, every single day. She's so happy right now. He's so happy. And you just whacked me in the nose with your tail. So I'm going to try to attempt to film this video with my cat wandering around, and oh my gosh, she's deciding to rub her face on the computer. Ah, don't knock it over, please. So I'm filming in here on my webcam today because it's too dark to... Georgia, please stop moving the camera. I can't, you guys. This is such a bad idea. Oh, and she's leaving. Bye. She doesn't like to be on film. I'm in my bedroom today filming on my webcam because it's too dark to film in my living room and I don't really have anything to prop my camera on in here, so this is what you get. But quality is not that different anyway. Just the lighting is better in here when I'm filming at night. So last week, I gave you guys 3 story suggestions and asked you guys which story you would like to hear. And it was really, really close. And I will definitely save the other 2 stories for another time because a lot of you wanted to hear those stories too. But today, I am going to talk about the time that I got fired from my job. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of background to this story. This took place almost 3 years ago. I had accepted a job as a summer camp counselor at a summer camp. And of course, I was stoked. I had never gone to summer camp before. I had always wanted to go to summer camp, but I never did. So I thought being a summer camp counselor would be the next best thing. However, there was a catch. I really wanted to teach dance, but they had already had enough counselors hired to teach dance. So they said that I could either teach kayaking or archery in order to get the job, and that they would pay for certification and everything. So I decided to get my certification to teach archery. And fun fact, my certification is actually still valid until this upcoming June, but I'm not planning on getting recertified. Anyways, I am starting to get off the topic, and it looks like Georgia might be joining us again shortly. So my job was slated to be for 5 weeks. 1 week was for training and orientation, and the other 4 weeks would be the actual summer camp. So the camp was 2 hours away from where I lived, so it was quite a long drive. The first training day was the day after my 22nd birthday. And the first day was fine, but once the real training started, I just started feeling like I didn't belong there. And I felt like I was very out of place, and every day made me feel really anxious, and I felt like I was being put on the spot for a lot of the training, and I felt like I was being picked on more than the other counselors, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, and deep inside, I just really wanted to go home. On the 6th day, I got a call from my family telling me that my Nana had passed away. And of course, I was already upset, but that news just made me even more upset and unable to focus. And it was really hard because I was 2 hours away from home and I couldn't just leave. I got 1 day off per week during camp, and my day off was set for Wednesday. And I wanted to go home for the funeral, but I found out that the funeral wouldn't be until Thursday. So I went to my camp director and asked her if I could switch my day off for that reason, and she said yes. So then camp began, and things were okay, but I was still struggling. I felt anxious every day, and I wasn't really connecting with any of the kids. I felt really overwhelmed. I felt useless. I just couldn't wait for my day off so I could go home. Thursday finally came around, and I left at 6 a.m. before anybody else was up to make the 2-hour drive home. I got home at around 8 a.m., and my family and I went to my Nana's funeral. After that, I stopped to see the guy that I was dating at the time, and I honestly just didn't want to go back to camp. I was just absolutely miserable. But with my personality, I'm just the type of person to push through it, even though it's something that makes me miserable. I'll just push through it and get through it. I left to go back at camp at around 6 p.m. and I arrived back at 8 p.m. and I just stayed in my room. The next morning, we were getting ready for a trip to the beach, and the camp director came into our cabin and asked if she and the other director could speak to me. They led me into their office and told me that I was doing a great job at the teaching aspect of it. Like, I was doing a good job being professional and teaching archery, but the thing that I was lacking in was the counselor aspect. I wasn't really connecting with any of the kids, and they told me that they were letting me go. They said that it was a really hard decision for them to make, especially with the fact that I had a death in the family and I was having a really hard time. So, to make up for it, they decided to pay me for 3 weeks instead of the 2 weeks that I was there to make up for the bad timing of it. In a way, I was kind of relieved to leave anyway. So, to save face, I went someplace else to have breakfast, and I stayed there until I was sure that everybody was gone on the trip. So, when they were gone, I went back in to pack up my things, and I left at around 11 a.m. for the final drive home. I'm sure what most people heard was probably that I was just too overwhelmed by the death in my family that I decided to go home, which is fine if they told them that lie. I would rather them get that story, I guess, than the story that I just sucked at my job. They did keep their word, and I did receive a check in the mail in August for the 3 weeks instead of just the 2. So that's the story of how I got fired from my job from a camp counselor. I just sucked at my job. That's all there is to it. And it was just really bad timing for it too, which is what made it really stressful and upsetting at the time. But since it happened almost 3 years ago, it really doesn't bother me anymore. I hope you enjoyed my story. Be sure to subscribe for new videos every week. Next week, I am expecting a package, so I might do an unboxing video for you guys. But if I don't get my package until later, I will save that video for the following week, and I'll do a tag video instead. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye!